Digital transformation. Okay, you've definitely heard this term before. It's everywhere, right? From corporate boardrooms to big national strategies. But what does it actually mean for a business? Today, we're going to cut through all the jargon and look at the real-world impact, the concrete results. So let's dive in.
And just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about here, just follow the money. The global web hosting market, which is, the very backbone of our digital world, is projected to hit almost $356 billion by 2029. And this isn't just about websites. It is the foundation for everything that's coming next.
And look, this isn't just a corporate gold rush. Entire nations are betting their futures on this shift. Take Saudi Arabia, for instance. A huge part of its Vision 2030 is this incredibly ambitious goal to become one of the top 5 digital governments on the planet. I mean, when governments start competing on digital excellence, this is a fundamental global change.
So we're seeing this massive investment from both companies and governments. And that brings us to our first section, the digital gold rush. What are the powerful forces that are actually driving this incredible level of change?
But here's the thing. This rush isn't just happening for fun. It's a direct response to some very real, very tangible problems. That leads us to what I'm calling the cracks in the foundation. A look at the deep-seated issues that are making this whole transformation thing not just a nice-to-have, but an absolute necessity.
This chart here gives us a really fascinating look under the hood. It's from a huge study of Saudi government entities, and it pinpoints their biggest operational headaches. And you can see a really clear pattern emerging. The top 3 hurdles are always data management, operational efficiency, and technology infrastructure. These aren't just minor inconveniences. We're talking major roadblocks to getting anything done.
And this is how those big, high-level problems actually show up in the real world, as just everyday business frustrations. We're talking about crazy high operational costs, call centers that are just totally overwhelmed, and clunky, manual workflows that waste everyone's time. And for your customers, that means slow, frustrating experiences. For the business, it means you just can't scale or keep up with demand. Do any of these sound a little too familiar?
All right, so we've clearly defined the problems. So what's the solution? Well, that takes us to our next section, the Transformation Toolkit. Here, we're going to break down the core technologies that are actually fixing these cracks in the foundation.
It pretty much all starts with a foundation, cloud hosting. So instead of putting your entire website on one single server, which is, a single point of failure, your data is spread across a global network. This makes your site faster, way more reliable, and incredibly scalable. Think of it like a resilient web versus a single vulnerable thread.
Next up is the Content Delivery Network, or CDN. Think about it. If your customers are all over the world, you don't want your website data traveling all the way from a server in, say, California to someone in Tokyo. A CDN solves this. It's like having mini warehouses of your content all around the world, so it delivers from the closest location. The result? A huge drop in load times.
And what about that overwhelmed call center we were just talking about? Well, that's where AI chatbots and agents come in. And look, these are not the clunky bots from a few years ago. Modern AI can handle really complex issues, 24/7, freeing up your human team to focus on the really tough problems. This is how you change customer service from a cost center into a powerful way to engage with your customer.
Okay, so the real power comes from how you put all these tools together. A successful transformation usually follows a pretty logical path. First, you modernize your infrastructure, your foundation, with cloud hosting and CDNs. Then, you automate your internal processes. After that, you enhance your customer experience with tools like AI. And finally, you unify the whole thing, creating a seamless experience for your customer no matter how they decide to reach you.
Theory is great, but what about the real-world impact? Let's talk about the payoff. This section is all about the so what of digital transformation, the actual tangible before and after results.
Okay, let's start with a big one, ProCredit Bank. Their challenge was absolutely massive. They had to digitize their banking services across 13 different countries to push for cashless operations and, most importantly, make the customer experience way better.
And the result of that huge undertaking? A staggering 99% of their services are now fully digitized and available online. Just think about that for a second. Near total transformation. And on top of that, they made the login process twice as fast and transfers 1.5 times faster. That is a massive win for the bank and for its millions of customers.
Now let's jump to a completely different industry. Auto Access, an automotive accessory company, had a 2-part challenge. They needed to slash their internal costs
And they wanted to break into the direct-to-consumer market for the very first time.
And this after picture really tells the whole story. By digitizing their operations, they cut manual work for their staff by 3 times. They made ordering 1.6 times faster for customers. And here's the real game changer for growth. The cost of adding new features to their website dropped by 2.5 times. That is a huge boost for being able to scale and grow the business. So what about something like a public utility? Well, ZAGROUP-TECH, a major energy provider, was basically facing a customer service crisis. Their call centers were completely overloaded, and they were really struggling to communicate effectively with their 3 million customers.
So what did they do? Their solution was to build a whole suite of digital self-service tools. Things like online bill management, real-time outage alerts, and digital service requests. The result was exactly what they needed: a significant drop in their call center load and lower costs, all while actually improving communication with millions of people.
What this table makes perfectly clear is that this is not a one-industry thing. Whether it's banking, automotive, or energy, the core principles of digital transformation deliver real, tangible results. From faster processes and entering new markets to just, building better relationships with your customers.
So, these results really show the power of the technology we have right now. But the innovation is not stopping, and that brings us to our final section. What's next for digital? Let's take a quick look at the road ahead. And the pace of innovation is only getting faster. We're seeing the rise of progressive web apps, which give you a full app experience without ever having to go to an app store. Voice search is becoming absolutely crucial as we talk to our devices more and more. Augmented reality is moving directly into the browser. And behind the scenes, you've got technologies like serverless architecture and WebAssembly that are just pushing the limits of speed and scalability even further.
And this all brings us to probably the most important question of all. As every single business operation and customer interaction gets faster and smarter and more automated, how do we make sure the experience remains fundamentally human-centric? That right there is the core challenge and honestly the greatest opportunity at the heart of a true digital transformation.